something that I can't forget. All I wanted was to wish the past away. But at times the cruel is truly that we all obey.
Chasing shadows, breaking bones and twisting nature's limbs. Elemental wreck, the gentle feet, each violent whim. There is beauty in the madness, I just can't see it yet. The purest artist strives for profuse extremes. The elegance of mortal frailty, I dream. Slaves wait for master to dictate. Put a fire in the deep sea. No Amari's gonna keep me. Ode to transience I create. Put a fire in the blue sky. Leaders broken, waiting to die.
Forlorn faces running from the cold regret. Empty spaces, something that I can't forget. All I wanted was to wish the past away. But at times the cruel is truly that we all obey.
I begin at the end. Time will buckle and bend.
Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, or Senstaku, as you might know me on Twitter, the executive producer here, and I just want to thank you for watching. It really means a lot to us that people watch, listen to, and enjoy our shows. If you want to help us keep making these shows as fun and lively as they can be, please join your fellow fans in supporting us at our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms or by subscribing to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/finalshowfilms. It really means a lot to us that the amount of you who do support us continue to do so, especially our $25 plus tier supporters on Patreon. Antitonic, Cat Waterflame, Samantha Bates, Maureen Monty, and Gravity Alexander. Every little bit helps, so thank you to all of our patrons and subs. Check us out on Twitter at Final Show Films and on our website at www.finalshowfilms.com for updates, go-live notifications, and more. We love interacting with you, so feel free to tweet at us or email us at finalshowfilms@gmail.com. That being said, please relax and enjoy. And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Esoteric Literature Club of Whitechapel. I'm John, and I am your keeper for the evening, and joining me today is Jeremy.
Really?
Sorry, I didn't realize you were talking. Remember, I have a thing in front of me. Joining me today is Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I am playing a cowboy named America, Kansas Freedom, because why not? It's Call of Cthulhu.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I am playing Mrs. Doris Foster Young, retired cult leader.
And Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig. I'm playing Dr. Harold Costley, a pensioner and new to all this stuff.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing John Ramsey, a Wiccan psychologist who it's dinner time for.
Before we delve into the world of Call of Cthulhu, for all those watching and listening at home, understand that this is a world that thrives on horror, on the unsettling, on making you uncomfortable. There may be themes and aspects of this story that are particularly unpleasant for some viewers. In those cases, it is a perfectly valid response to stop watching or listening if you feel you cannot. For those who remain, welcome to Call of Cthulhu. When last we left off, the group of club goers had determined that the entity that was causing at least some of their problems, not the only one, as they determined there were multiple ones in the city, was some sort of dimensional shambler that seemed to be the thing responsible for people disappearing after hearing the sound of somebody walking up or down a set of stairs and expecting there to be 14 or 15 steps and then finding that there are one more or one fewer of those steps at either end, at which point people disappear. The latest of which was Jared. Having determined that it was a shambler and that the shambler's point of anchor is somewhere in the house that they had investigated prior at the beginning of the week when all this weird stuff began, and that it's potentially related to a painting that they had seen in there, John Collins, the ancient paranormal detective of London, sent the four of them off on a fetch quest to attain some items, specifically the blood of a virgin cow, the thigh bone of an adult cow, the rice blessed by a Shinto priest, and the finger bone of a martyr, although that one would be acquired as a group after the other artifacts were attained. Collins remaining behind at the London headquarters of the Knights Templar that exists underneath his house, sending the four off in pairs to find their items. Doris happens to know a person that has some blood on hand, so we're going to start with America, Kansas Freedom, and Doris as the pair of them head out to find a blood dealer.
Yep.
Taking my car, and if you still have one of the guns, you are locking it in the gun safe in the back.
Oh, I do not have. Wait, no, I might have a gun.
See, this is
Harold gave me
important
one.
to know whether or not you're carrying a firearm.
I am. Harold gave me one.
Okay.
Sure, I'll put it away.
Lock it in the gun safe in the back, because I would reckon you don't have a license to carry that.
No.
Very good.
I will.
Well, let's
lock
be
it
on
away.
our way.
Yep.
Where are we going?
Over on the, I don't know where this would be, probably somewhere. I am not good on my London geography. The Golden Orb. It's a theater.
It'd be in the theater district.
Huh?
It'd be in the theater district.
Yes.
Got it.
Theater
I
Which
will
is
head
south.
to the theater district.
Yes.
South
There we go.
south along the Thames.
All right.
So you drive south towards the theater district. For the most part, traffic is fairly fine until you reach the bridge. Over the Thames that you would normally go. A little ways back, traffic has begun to pile up, and very quickly you find your car stopped in the middle of the road, stuck between other cars. It seems that the bridge to the south of the Thames, where the theater district is currently out for some reason. There is a series of cars in front of you, all honking their horns, demanding that somebody move. But as always, when you're stuck in a traffic jam caused by a bridge being out, no amount of honking your horn will cause the cars in front of you to move when there is nowhere to move.
Oh, bother.
Do I know if there's a way to go around?
On foot, yes. There's the Millennium Bridge, which is a foot bridge just to the east of this particular bridge that you can get out and walk across, but not for car travel.
Doris, would you be a dear and look up on your phone why the bridge is out?
Sure. I will fiddle around with my phone, see if I can find out.
After just for shits and giggles, give me a computer use roll.
Sure. I am computer use.
Yeah.
Is that one of the other? That's one of the other skills. So I have a 5% chance. Hang on, let me make a roll for it real quick. Computer. No.
All right. So you do a cursory Google glance. It mostly you just find that there appears to be some sort of repair work being done on the bridge. There something happened that caused some amount of destruction to the bridge, which means that it has to undergo repairs before it is safe for cars to go over again.
Oh, some sort of construction.
Well, if it's construction, what do they recommend as an alternate route?
I mean, there's the footpath.
Yeah, the footpath or the subway are the two alternate paths
Right.
suggested.
Do I know how tricky is it going to be to park? Because I know about our world London parking,
Yeah.
but this world might be different.
Give me a spot hidden roll.
To spot a hidden parking spot. I love it.
Just saying, in London, that seems legit.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's a very good role to make this. No.
So you can. There is a place
Nice,
to
though.
park nearby. There's a parking building that people are being backed into, which will get you up to a parking spot. It looks like they're only taking a few more cars. If you go now, you can get into it, but you will be on like the top of the parking deck.
Fine.
So, a very slow backward struggle ensues, and over the next 15 minutes you manage to get the car into a parking spot on the top of a parking deck on the road near the bridge heading to the Thames. Heading over the Thames.
All right.
So,
Heading down,
you
I
have
assume.
you have two options if you wish to pursue on foot. You can either try to take the subway, or you can, which will take you a little while, but will be a subway, or you can walk across the bridge, the Millennium Bridge, which will be much quicker.
I mean, I have no problem just walking, but
I should be all right. Better than going on a stuffy subway car.
So, what are you bringing with you as you head towards the Millennium Bridge from your car?
My purse.
I'm gonna bring my bow because I can fold that up and
Yeah.
put it in my bag. And also, if I have it on me, it's not illegal.
Yeah, no. If a collapsed bow that is securely locked away, is fine.
Mm-hmm. And I still have my audio recorder, so I make sure I have that as well.
Yeah.
It's not on yet, probably.
Like most of the stuff I'd normally bring. So I have a Swiss Army. No, Jahan has my Swiss Army knife. I have a radio. I have a first aid kit. I have a duffel bag. I'm gonna also take my whip and my ammo. Why not?
You have a duffel bag? My good, that. Are you going
Like,
on a hike, dear?
I'll switch it out for my book bag if she seems deeply uncomfortable with the bag I normally carry.
I'm just as slightly astonished.
So, you load up, you have a bow and some arrows, and your whip, and then your basic essential gear, and as far as that's concerned.
Just, for the record, a pretty normal thing for someone that's carrying around a bow to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, the two of you head down the parking deck, and across the stopped traffic that is still stopped, as there are loud honking horns and people uttering various colorful language from their windows at the people in front of them who, again, are not able to move forward because there is no road to move forward onto. Eventually finding your way through the park, through a park and onto the Millennium Bridge that spans the Thames as a walk path. The bridge is fairly full of people walking to and from the north and south side of the river, as well as those who are looking across at this would be the Tower Bridge, I believe. Yeah, I think it's the Tower Bridge. That is currently out of commission. As you walk, you look over and you see massive cranes currently set to work. It looks like a section of the bridge actually fell out into the water, so there is a section of bridge where there simply is no bridge. And that seems to be what they are fixing. As you continue on, eventually, it's about a 20-minute walk from. No, it's not even that. It's about a 10-minute walk from one side to the other. It's a fairly breezy, brisk. It is cold, but eventually you make it to the other side. You understand, Doris. You know that the theater in question that you're looking for is somewhere to the west of where you are now, and so begin to head that way. After a few minutes of walking, you find yourselves in a fog. You didn't quite notice it coming through. It didn't seem particularly foggy while you were out on the bridge, but as you're walking through the streets, you suddenly feel that your vision has been shortened by the presence of this fog that has rolled in off the river and around you. You can still pretty much tell where you're going, but it is particularly dense, denser than one would have expected, especially considering the weather forecast this morning did not give any indications of fog.
We're in fog in the vicinity of Whitechapel. Run!
They are much further south than Whitechapel.
Yeah, this isn't Whitechapel.
They are anywhere within walking distance of Whitechapel.
Look, it's London and it's foggy.
Yep.
Oh goodness, I hate it when the weather does this. Well, I'm gonna take this opportunity. Has the crowd sort of thinned out around us? It's not so much people nearby.
You are no longer on the bridge, which is where you left the majority of the crowd back. But as you look around, you notice that in fact there's nobody else around, which is slightly odd. But it is just you in America at the moment.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to, America, I wanted to give you a little bit of a warning about, well, my friend is a little bit unusual, and I didn't want you to be unprepared. I used to be involved with a religious group, and Petunia, she's a dear old friend, was a participant with me, so that's how we know each other, and that's where I know that she can get some of these stranger ingredients, of course. But there may be some discussion about that. I wasn't sure about your feelings about the religious.
I don't care much. You're gonna have an uphill battle if you want me to join in, but
Oh no, I'm not going to ask you
I'm
to
not
join. It's
here to judge.
it's-
That's why I said that I was willing to go with whoever needed to, because I think we're a group full of preconceived notions, and I think that among those, I'm accustomed to the odd.
Right. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. We don't know that much about each other, to be honest. I'm learning so much about, well, Harold, of course, and then Jahan and yourself. Your accent, for one thing, I noticed it change when we were back in the house.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
That was when you were in the catacombs, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to need a reminder as a player.
That
I'm
was
sorry.
way back in like the second
Oh, no,
episode,
back then. Okay.
or
Yeah,
something.
I think you failed a sanity check and you made a roll.
Yeah.
Oh, right. John said
Mhm.
my accent changed. Okay, I remember this now. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
And-
Best guess as to reckoning on that, I've gotta wonder if whatever creepy thing was making things not as they should be, he was slipping into my brain a bit.
Of course, it's very unsettling. Can I tell if they're lying?
You can give me a psychology roll, and
Okay.
they can give
Doris
me a
would be
deception
very
roll.
curious about
I
this.
feel like this is a persuade check because America's not lying about what.
A persuade check also works.
Oh God. Okay.
This is more what America believes to be the case.
Okay.
Well, America's not a convincing liar, but Doris doesn't take much to be convinced. So,
In this, I guess. Okay. Yes, it is. It has been quite strange. I will be. It's been quite strange. And I'll let the conversation just sort of like lag a bit and see if
As-
America is
So
the type
I
to
don't know much
nervous
about
talk.
you either.
No, well, you know that I'm retired. I was in this group for a while, and after that, well, I retired. Me and my husband, Reginald, and my husband, and I had a little house that we purchased out in Surrey. Started getting that together. He fell ill, however, very unfortunate, and passed away 2 years ago. Doris would be much more up on this. Yeah. Oh, 3 years ago, because it's 2020 now. What year is it?
2022.
2022. 4 years ago. 4 and then 6. Yeah. 6 years ago. And it was very sad. But lately I've been wanting to get more involved with things like this. Of course, this is not at all what I envisioned things being, but we'll make the best of it.
As you end that sentence, or as you pause before heading to the next sentence, there's a crunching sound underneath your shoe.
Oh, I looked down at it.
There is the exhumed skeletal hand of some body beneath your foot. As you look around through the fog, you suddenly realize that you have wandered into a graveyard of some kind. There are headstones all around this foggy graveyard.
Oh goodness, that we have gone off the path.
Am I also seeing this?
Yes, you're also seeing this.
All right.
And
Yeah.
as well as the skeletal hand underneath Doris's foot.
Cursory, is this a human skeleton?
Yeah, it seems to be, as much as you can tell, it seems to be a human skeleton that's been disembodied roughly around the forearm.
Can I tell if this is like someone carved the meat off of a bone, or like this bone has decomposed naturally? Because
There's no flesh on it at all. You can make a medicine check.
Oh, great, medicine, which I took nothing in.
Skeleton arm is a skeleton arm.
Fine.
My goodness. That
is strange.
How did that get out?
Do you pick your foot up off it?
Yes.
As you pick your foot
Damn
up
it.
off it, the hand begins to move as it scuttles away, leaving the forearm bone behind. Just the hand goes.
Did I'm looking at America, and did you see that?
Not
Doris
the
is
weirdest
seeing-
thing I've seen today, to be honest with you.
Right. What do you think the chances are that that's a martyr's hand?
I ain't sure. Ain't martyrs? You're the religious folk. Ain't martyrs supposed to be holy and their hands uncorruptible, and that's why we keep their bones in temples and shit?
Sure.
As you're pondering this question, there is the sound of something clacking nearby from behind one of the gravestones.
I turn around to see the skeleton monster.
You don't see anything. You just hear something.
John Collins, though, was very clear on that. He knew where to find one. So I think we don't need to wander into the fog at this point. I am going to start looking for an exit, because nope.
Be a spot hidden roll.
Well, if you got a better idea than the fog in all directions.
Spot hidden. No, that's a fumble.
Looking around, you can't find any sort of landmarks of any kind. Like, all you're seeing are gravestones, and you're not even recognizing these particular gravestones.
I'm pulling my weapon out at this point.
Still
Arrow
clutching
knocked.
my purse. America, do you see a way out? I just see graves.
Success?
You don't see any particular ways out, but the only decoration that you managed to spot amongst the gravestones that you are seeing in the fog is an angel. Normally, angels and gravestones are some sort of weeping angel or any some sort of decorative mourning thing. This one appears to be standing fairly straight backed and looking out at the distance, with hands crossed, except their left hand, which is crossed over top their right, is just sort of pointing in a direction.
Well, we got a statue. Do we want to go where it says or where it says not to?
A statue?
I'll try and point it out.
Yeah.
Once America points it out, you can see this angel statue that's just...
Well, seems to be a way to go.
There is the sound of something clacking on a gravestone behind you.
Yeah, no, let's not turn around. And go that way.
I'm turning around because...
Nope.
Right. America,
I'm an action hero. Fucking.
America, as you turn around, you see this skeletal figure dressed in rags with bits of meat
I'm shooting
off
it
of its
because
face.
I really want to be an action hero.
Give me an attack roll with your bow.
Awesome. I definitely have that entirely in my sheet.
What did it look like? What was hanging off of its face?
Flesh was hanging off of its face.
Oh, okay.
We're getting more fleshy zombie now than pure skeleton.
Yes. So within a year.
So the crossbow quarrel fires out, and how do you get? Because no dice rolled on the damage. That's why.
Sorry, I forgot to put the damage in.
No worries. What is the damage on the compound?
7,000.
7. It's over 9,000.
Sorry. That's the crossbow if you attach a nuclear warhead to the front.
Yeah,
Good on that.
unfortunately, we're not playing in Fallout.
Which, by the way, is the worst way to deliver a nuclear warhead.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't
What,
give you a
by
lot of
crossbow?
distance.
No, there's the other Fallout one that spews them in all directions, including at your feet.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem. Is it's not even the distance. I mean, it's the distance, but in a different way. Nuclear warheads are real big, so when you fire it, it goes thunk
Mhm.
right at your feet and then goes off.
That's why you have the Fat Man that launches it as a catapult rather than as a crossbow. Revel as we attempt to find the damage of a crossbow.
Look, this book thinks that the word Colleen is the word crossbow. like basically every few words that start with CO are being counted as being what I'm searching for. It's annoying.
Are you spelling crossbow CO?
CRO.
We're okay. I just wanted to make sure. I know your history with typos. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't searching for the misspelled phrasing.
Even then, I know I got the part that was the word bow correct.
I mean, fair.
1d8 plus 2.
Thank you.
Okay.
And where is that sheet?
Just had it. And then
There. Anyway, 6 damage on the.
Nice.
it's on page 401 in the Keeper's Guide, in the Keeper's Rulebook,
Oh,
which I did link you to at some point.
I know you did, but I didn't download it because I don't have that much space on my hard drive.
So the crossbow flies out, ting, hits this thing in the face, and it's the head sort of rocks back and rocks forward again.
We should get going.
Yeah, no, I've already begun.
Doris, do you look back at it?
No.
You sure?
Uh-uh.
Not curious at all?
Nope. Not until it gets closer and I
Also-
have to.
Also, America, you can make a sanity roll for me, please.
For seeing a skeleton monster.
For seeing
Cool.
a skeleton monster, as well as the skeleton monster shrugging off your crossbow.
If America keeps pausing and not, being sensible and running
All
away,
right.
I might have to look back, but not right now.
You only lose 1 point of sanity.
Look, I have not gotten to lose that much sanity, so I think America is not judging these situations as being quite as dangerous as they are yet.
Yeah.
So, the two of you move into a breakneck pace, following the finger of the angel as it points you in a direction. You begin running through the fog, gravestones
I'm
passing
being
by.
slow running because
How-
I've got heels and it's a
A
graveyard.
slight jog. You slightly jog through the fog.
And I feel like I'm keeping up because I'm pretty sure I have a much higher movement rate.
Yes.
You slightly jog through the fog as heading in the direction that the angel's finger was pointing in. Hearing the sounds of things awakening all around you in the fog. You hear the sound of bodies exhuming themselves, the ground bursting open as things
Okay,
begin
if
to
there's
crawl
that
out
many of
the
them at
earth.
some point, I'll look back.
You look back, and there's
Yeah.
nothing immediately behind you. You can hear these things, but they're not in visual range at the moment.
I don't like this. Okay. Turn and keep running.
Eventually, you find yourselves face to face with yet another angel statue. Its arms are down by its sides, and its hands are sort of relaxed, except for one hand, which is in the relaxed state, pointing off to the left. I am assuming you follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turning left, you continue to run. You continue to hear these things, and eventually you come to a stop as you reach a fence. This fence seems to be the border of the graveyard, and you can't really see anything beyond it. Nothing but dense fog as you hear the sound of shuffling behind you.
And there's not a convenient gate.
No.
Do I think it could be climbable?
It is certainly climbable.
What kind of fence are we talking about?
It's
We got
sort of an iron, like,
Bars,
iron
they have
barred
the
fence,
little
yeah.
spikes
yeah,
on the
with the
top.
spikes on the top, yeah.
Okay, it's okay.
Barbed wire is bad. Spikes.
No barbed
you can
wire,
do
just spikes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't make a climb
I'm gonna
check.
try and climb it. I'm not actually that good at climbing because your stats don't matter in this system. But I'm gonna try. Extreme success.
All right. So you hook your crossbow over the top and use it to sort of pull yourself up to the top of the fence, situating yourself between the spikes as you do so. Are you trying to help Doris up, or are you going to just drop off and leave her?
I was gonna try.
All right.
Like I probably wouldn't sacrifice myself for her, but I was gonna
Thanks.
offer a hand.
Doris, you get a hand up, which gives you a bonus die, so you can roll with.
Sweet.
You can hit the other button and look at the +1 value.
All right.
Well,
Nope.
it's not a
Alright.
fumble.
It's not a
not a
fumble.
fumble, though.
It's just a fail. America, you sort of hang the crossbow back down, holding it for Doris to grab onto and start pulling up. Doris, you make it about halfway up before your hands, wet with sweat and the dampness of the fog, slip and you fall back down to the ground, hitting the gravel fairly roughly, but not hard enough to hurt yourself. As you hear behind you,
How good of a perch do I have here?
fairly solid. You can get down
Okay.
either way when you're feeling like.
If I've got a pretty solid perch, I'm gonna fumble around my bag. I definitely have some rope. We've established a few times now. Just throw 2 or 3 knots into it to make it like climbable and lasso loop it around the. I tie knots all the time.
Yeah,
it's my
absolutely.
job.
Absolutely.
Not
a rope.
So that I don't have to continue physically helping Doris, but she still has some advantage.
All right. Doris, do you look behind you?
This point, yes.
As
Yeah.
you turn to look at the sound, you see the slightly familiar face of your dead husband, half rotted, with a crossbow bolt in his face.
Yep, that's Robert.
Yep.
Fuck.
Crawling towards you.
Yep. Nope. Sorry, dear. I'm going to try and climb up again, and if he gets close enough, I'm going to push off the top of his head.
All right. With a rope, you can get 2 bonus dice. So go ahead and
Okay.
another roll. We're looking at the +2.
Okay.
I mean, the big question I'm curious about was the crossbow bolt a recreation of something that happened before?
I just shot him with a crossbow.
I
so that's
understand,
a weird
but history could
coincidence.
totally repeat itself.
You don't know, Jeremy.
I know. I want to know.
Why can't
I also absolutely love that it's the face, the zombie face of your ex-husband. And Doris is like, which one? Oh, okay, yeah, that tracks.
Where is Jeremy? I cannot see him.
That's because Jeremy is slightly off camera.
Okay.
It's just a mysterious sound.
Just a
coming from
mysterious
void. I
sound coming
failed
from the
again,
void.
though.
Yes,
so,
you did.
No.
All right. So there is a zombie clawing at you. Would you like to fight back or dodge?
I'm going to fight back.
All right. So you can make a brawl roll.
Okay. I'm better at brawl than dodging, so yes. Do I just make a brawl roll then, or do I make a weapon attack?
It'd be a brawl roll.
Okay.
In this case, unless you're somehow using a weapon while both of your hands are clutching the rope you're trying to climb.
I've got a brick in my purse.
Yes, but you're holding the rope trying to climb.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
There we go.
It's attacking you while you're climbing.
No, I rolled a 61.
Fortunately, it rolled a 72 and missed.
Oh, good.
So, as you are trying to climb up, and your upper body strength is giving way. You don't have the physical strength to climb this rope. As you're sort of halfway up it, dangling, the zombie tries to claw at you, and you just sort of kick feebly at its face to try to get it away. It doesn't manage to get a hold of you, but you do manage to plant your feet on its face. So there's that. I'll let you make one more climb roll
Okay.
with the 2 bonus dice still.
All right.
All
Hey!
right. So with the advantageous leverage of your dead husband's face, you managed to push off and up onto the railing of the fence with. Actually, America, have you already dropped down by now, or are you still up there?
It's been an entire action. I'm probably dropping down. Yeah.
Okay. So you're up on the top of the fence by yourself, Doris, as America has already sort of slid down to the other side.
And Jeremy, now it's a metaphor.
Fair enough.
There's like some brain goop on the back of your heel that you use to sort of stomp on his face to climb up.
Gah! All right. Help me down again. I'm an old lady. I'm gonna.
You've got a rope. Move the rope from one side to the other side. It's already tightened on the fence, so you just rotate it.
I'll do that. I don't care particularly if I hit America with the rope in the process of moving it over to the other side.
All right, give me another
Good
climb
thing I
check.
have a really fucking high dodge.
Yeah.
Standing a fair distance away.
Also, it's just a rope.
Give me another climb check with the +2.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fail though.
So as you start climbing down, your body wet from the fog and the sweat, and there's a zombie sort of batting at the gate at the fence trying to get at you. You lose your grip and fall. America, would you like to try to catch Doris?
Yeah.
Give me a strength check.
Fine. Oh, what did he say?
A strength check.
Oh, strength, the stat.
Yes.
Huh. So, I'm sorry, Doris.
All right. So America, you managed to get underneath Doris, because getting underneath somebody that's falling isn't too terribly hard. The problem is keeping yourself standing while underneath, and that you managed to not do quite as well. As Doris slams into you, and the two of you both tumble into the ground, taking 1 point of damage each as you hit the ground.
Right.
This is definitely at least the second time in this campaign that Doris has clotheslined someone by falling on them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All right.
How do
I'll
I?
release the rope and we should start going somewhere. Ow.
Now that you are outside of the graveyard, you can sort of see what street you're on, Doris, and can more easily navigate. As the pair of you look back for the zombie, it appears to be gone.
I wipe brain goop off the back of my shoe.
I put away my bow so I don't look like a murdery person.
It's this weird, like, black and greenish goop that's way too sticky and smells like corpses.
Ugh.
As you sort of wipe it off your heel.
Yeah, I'll like grab onto the fence and. Yep. Ugh. All right. I know where we are now. It should just be down that way, I think. Yes.
All right.
Meanwhile, Jahan and Harold. Which location were the two of you heading to first? The butcher's shop or the Shinto shrine?
Which was closer?
They're in opposite directions. So
Okay.
you pick one, basically.
Shop is your contact, right?
What's that?
Butcher shop is your contact, right?
Yeah, and
the other one's mine.
Yeah, there's nothing mystical about it. It's literally just the butcher that he shops at.
But let's go there first.
All right. I need to pick up a bit of sausage for the weekend anyway, as it is. Anything for you?
No, thank you.
Right then, and then we'll get underway.
So the pair of you drive out. Whose car?
I'll drive.
And where is this butcher shop, Harold?
It is in Knightsbridge, in the same neighborhood where he lives.
In Knightsbridge, right. So you head out. As you're driving, the traffic's fairly clear. At one point, a fog seems to roll in. Fairly heavy fog. It's actually quite difficult to see, especially in your car. But you manage to navigate well enough to get to a parking spot near the butcher shop. The butcher shop doesn't have parking itself. It's sort of a walk-up neighborhood butcher, so you do have to do a little bit of walking to get. But eventually you do. You exit the car, taking with you what you might. Is there anything in particular you're taking with you to meet the butcher?
I'm not Harold. He has his cane, but other than that, that's about it.
Don?
It's on. I had looked it up, and
That's fine.
I had a place in mind, but I can't find it now.
Don't worry
Unfortunately,
it
was a couple weeks ago.
I have a place in mind too.
Okay, all right. I had a street for you if you didn't have one, but
No worries.
okay,
You
yeah.
realize
So
that does not fill me with confidence, John.
I don't know what your problem is.
yeah,
Especially
so
the way that you said it.
I mean,
I know
Harold
you
has
at
his.
this point.
Sorry.
Oh,
I mean, Harold has his, his phone in his pocket and his address book and his wallet, but nothing special.
Okay. So the pair of you walk up to this butcher shop. There is no name on the sign. It's simply the sign is simply a wood carver's depiction of a pig's head. And it says butchers underneath it in this very sort of Victorian, like the sign is sort of very explicitly what it is because it's the only shop in the area stylization.
Right.
It's a very old building with large front windows in which there are these slices of meat and cuts of meat and hangings of sausages, all displayed very proudly for the buyer's interest on the exterior.
I am taking a quick look on the outside through as we're walking up, because nowhere we've gone has been safe. Like any signs, like does the meat look like it's going bad, or
Give me a spot hidden check.
like is
Yeah,
there
symbols
something
on the
with
door,
back? Yeah, exactly. Anything that looks like nope, we're going somewhere else.
Yeah, and Harold is creeped out enough by things in general to just be cognizant of the fact that he wants to tell if this place looks different than it usually does.
You said spot hidden?
You can both give me a spot hidden roll, yes.
I got
Good
a
Lord.
success.
All right. Harold, seems like your normal everyday butcher shop. Jahan, looking through the windows, it seems fairly not busy, but there doesn't seem to be anything explicitly or overtly wrong. Like the meat seems like perfectly fine. Cuts of meat, the kind you might see normally in any butcher shop. The utensils that you can see on the far wall, that like sort of butchers, especially when this is very clearly sort of like a vintage butcher shop, and that's their thing, is that we're a vintage butcher shop. So they've got their tools on display in the back, and they all seem to be perfectly fine. None of them seem to be coated in blood. They all seem to be very well kept and cleanly
There's no
kept.
like mass quantity of there or actually honestly even a few, but flies buzzing around.
Doesn't seem to be any flies that you can see on the immediate inside of the establishment.
Okay.
Can we see anybody staffing the counter?
You can. In fact, you can see that the butcher Henry is actually there at the counter, currently cutting up a slice of meat to put on display.
How old is Henry, ballpark?
Oh, Henry's an old mariner. Like he's
okay.
Okay. Looking at him, you can't tell if he's 40 or 102, but you're pretty certain he's somewhere in the middle of that. This old weather-beaten man with a big thick beard tied into Viking braids, who's got a very dainty hairnet on to keep his very shaggy old white man hair out of his face, as he's just sitting there with this big cleaver slicing into the meat in front of him.
Has Harold known him for as long as he's lived in Knightsbridge?
Yeah, Harry's
10, 15 years.
Henry's an establishment. Like this
okay.
is a...
All right.
Again,
right.
You say the butchers, it's Henry, and that's
gotcha.
Part of why his sign doesn't have a name, because it's Henry.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It is Dr. Ramsey ready to walk inside, or is he?
Yep.
Has he stopped
Yep.
on the? Okay.
Nope. He's good.
All right. We'll walk in, and Harold, as he walks in, goes, "All right, Henry."
So you walk in, there's a little chime as the door opens, and Henry looks up. And again, Jahan, you've got a much clearer look at him now that you're in the building. This is a man this is like somebody plucked what's his name? The captain in Moby Dick.
Ahab.
Yeah, like somebody plucked Ahab right out of the book and put him into a butcher's shop. Like old man, scar over his face, missing one eye, weathered skin that looks like he's been out on a ship forever and a day.
Right.
White hair, big long beard tied in braids, very well built musculature. A man that has worked all his life and will work until he dies. That kind of a person. Looks up. Oh, hey there, Harold, isn't it? Yes. Are you coming by for your regular cut of beef?
As it happens, I thought I might something a little extra this week, though.
Oh, really?
Here, let me introduce my friend here, Dr. John Ramsey.
There's a
Hello.
there is a heavy thud as the cleaver he's using slams into the wooden board that he was cutting meat on and sort of sticks there as he grabs a rag, wipes his hands off, and offers a hand to shake.
I will shake.
Pleasure to meet you there, Doctor. Now, what can I
Wonderful.
do for you?
Well, we're looking for it's a shin bone.
Thigh bone.
Was it
Thigh bone.
thigh
femur.
bone? Thigh bone of a calf, if you happen to have one, and about a pound and a half of sausage. Doctor, are you sure you won't take anything with you?
I'm good, thank you.
Hey, looking for a thigh bone? That's a pretty choice cut. We don't. We actually, now that I think about it, we might have a little bit of stock left back in the fridge for that. Take a bit to thaw it out. You want it cooked here, or are you planning to cook it on your way when you get home?
Oh, I'll probably cook it up when I get home.
Very well, then I'll wrap it up for you fresh then. And pound of sausage, you said?
Pound and a half. Yeah.
Pound and a half. All right.
Or-
All right. Well, give me just a few moments. Feel free to peruse if you like. Just be stepping in the back for a moment. And he sort of moves back through these big, heavy, the big, heavy plastic like straps that are often used in restaurants and warehouses to sort of separate two areas temperaturely without actually separating it as a door. Sort of pushes past and walks back.
I will also say, out of character, I'm actually ignorant of whether someone of Harold's age in the UK would use kilos or pounds. I think probably younger folks would be using kilos, but
Honestly,
I think somebody of his age might still be used to using pounds.
I don't care. So
Okay, if I'm
They use
wrong, pretend
pounds.
Harold said the right one.
we will. I don't care enough to care about that. And as I
Okay,
said,
fair.
that as at the top of the series, the things that you're familiar with might not be true. So in this particular instance, these old men say pounds.
Okay.
This is why I'm playing an American.
Fair.
See, the only problem with pounds is it then gets confusing with money.
Pound sterling.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, from the back, you hear the sound of a machine kicking on and the sound of meat being fed through a grinder. As there's just this sound of as it sounds like he's preparing your sausages.
Very great. Anything weird about that sound compared to usual?
Give me a listen check.
Oh, good. All right.
We'll also.
Mm. Rolling good tonight.
Oh,
Also
goodness.
a fail.
Not a fumble.
Totally normal.
Not a fumble for
So-
either of you, though. Harold, you've heard the sound. You've heard the sound lots of times. There's a bit of an extra hitch in it. Every once in a while, it might just be that the machine's getting old as it is, and might just need to be replaced. Sounds like it could be that there's just the grinding blade is messed up at the moment. But aside from that, no, it sounds perfectly fine.
All right. Harold just sort of drum his fingers against the counter and look over at Dr. Ramsey and said, "So I don't think we've had the opportunity to discuss. Where was it you studied?"
Studied psychiatry. Just a second. I need to remember this. University College London.
Oh, rather nice. And have you been about in the city since then, or did you leave for a while and come back?
No, I've stayed here in London most of the time. I've done a little bit of traveling, not an enormous amount, but
Did you
no,
grow
for
up
the most
here?
part- Yes.
Ah, right. And how is it these days compared to when you were a wee nipper?
How is it these days in terms of?
Oh, just in terms of the changes to the city. When I was a wee, when we it was something we'd see on the telly, but not on a regular basis. So I've only got the past few decades to
Ah.
compare.
Well, I mean, a few decades. That's not that much longer than I've been around. In fact, it's less than that. But
Harold just kind of glares in response to that.
sorry. No, I mean, so growing up, I suppose I didn't have a. I had a very particular sort of view of London. I mean, my world didn't exist much further beyond, say, the
Well,
neighborhood I grew up in.
and if you'll pardon me for saying so, it seems now it revolves almost entirely around the beyond.
No, not as much. Just current. I mean, I am most of what I deal with, most of the patients that I have entirely non-supernatural, shall we say, reasons for coming to see.
But not all of them, then.
No, all of them. That I had to pause and think about the way I worded that because that was interesting. No. All I do not have. Well, I guess that's not true. I have some people that I know that are practicing Wiccan like me. I certainly have a couple people who have backgrounds in occultism, but they don't come see me because they're, say, possessed by a demon.
Right, but I mean, you mentioned Wiccan, and I wasn't conflating the two. I mean,
Of course.
just because somebody doesn't belong to a conventional religion doesn't mean that they're associated with the paranormal sort of thing.
I really hope that was an intentional choice because it's amazing either way, but intentional.
Yeah, that's very much character, not player.
Nice.
I would like to make that clear.
I mean, either way is perfectly acceptable, but
Oh, that was great.
oh, that was wonderful. No, it's I'm dealing with individuals' mental health, so of course their faith comes into it, because that's a big part of sometimes positively and sometimes negatively their state of mind and their health. But nothing, shall we say, nothing of this level.
At the end of that sentence, the two of you hear the meat grinders shut off and begin hearing a loud coming from the back.
Footsteps or more chopping?
Something being chopped.
Okay. Anything odd about that, or does it sound like our shin bone is being prepared?
Give me a listen check.
Okay.
I will roll that.
Come on.
Come on!
There is a lot. Have we succeeded in anything
Yes,
tonight?
I
Okay.
succeeded in my spot hidden.
Holy
I
cow.
shot someone and climbed.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I just meant like
Yeah.
the failure duo over here.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's probably chopping into that frozen leg to get you that thigh bone you wanted.
Okay. Harold.
Didn't he say something about fresh though?
Yeah, like fresh off the cow, not fresh unthawed.
Yeah, I think
not
he
fresh
did say it
unfrozen.
was frozen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Harold, it looks like he's sort of inspecting and buffing the cap of his cane, and he says, well, if I'm honest, thinking back on it, it's been a while since I took an elective in psychoanalysis when I was in school, but I have to imagine that the use of spells and so forth is not exactly approved by the British Psychological Society.
No, not exactly. Um, I mean, there are certainly non-traditional methods, but generally, I certainly don't try to bring my own faith into it. Um, and up until recent events of our two fellow book lovers trying to break into my home, my magical exploits were of a more theoretical, spiritual nature than direct impression of altering how the cosmology works.
Like we're like on the verge of like a mage character's awakening. It's like I was just a
I mean,
psychologist in Wiccan until I was forced to wipe my friends' minds.
Right, and the break into your home, that was while I was indisposed the other evening. But
yes.
they were, I understand, not apprehended. Is that correct?
Sorry,
The two that had broken into your house. What
the
was
two
it that
that
was
had
done with
broken.
him?
The two that had broken into my house were Doris and America.
I thought. Oh, I see. I thought we were talking about our yellow jacket wearing friends, myself
I mean, they
excluded.
were wearing yellow jackets at the time,
Right, right.
but no, I mean them.
Harold is trying to nod sagely. Well, clearly,
They
no one has told him about any of
No,
this.
they and
Jared.
Jared, thank you.
Yep.
They and Jared were actively trying to break into my home, and I assume trying to murder me.
Did they have axes or?
Yes, actually, Jared did have an axe,
Right.
and the other two used a brick to shatter my screen door or glass door on the back of my home, which required them going through my neighbor's yard to get there.
Harold sighs fondly and says, "Our Doris, she loves her bricks." But so, all right.
At this point,
okay.
you hear the sound of metal rasping off metal. Shing, shing, shing.
Harold looks up and said, "Well, not exactly a professional butcher, but I'm relatively sure that that's not a conventional sound."
That is best of my knowledge, no.
Henry?
Oh, be out in just a second. You see, coming out through the thing, you can see now what was making that rasping sound was he's got a fairly large meat cleaver, like pretty massive meat cleaver, the kind that is only used back to lob hunks of frozen meat off. That he's got a sharpening brick, and he's just shing, shing, shing. Right, we've got 1.5 pounds of sausage and thigh bone of a calf, complete with all the meat around it for you, or just ready to come up. And he hangs the large cleaver off the back wall, reaches behind, pulls out this paper wrapped sack, sets it on the there's an electric scale on the counter which you can see reads 1.5 pounds. And then he also turns around and picks up this fairly large, 3 feet long bit of meat that has a bit of bone sticking out out the bottom end of it. And he also wraps in paper and sets on the counter for you.
Well, that's my Sunday supper sorted.
Right then, are you paying with cash or card?
Well, he pulls out his wallet and says, "Well, I assume cash unless thigh bones are running at that Japanese meat price."
Cash works perfectly fine, and
All
you
right,
you
then.
you pay for your meat, and he wipes his hands clean, picks up that smaller cleaver that he had been using when you walked in. Now you all have a great day, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. Goes back to slicing meat for the display.
And the so we've been able to at least see the thigh. It wasn't wrapped up when he came out.
No,
or-
it wasn't wrapped up when it came
Okay,
out.
all right. We're not going to open it. It's a head or anything.
No, it's
I'm glad
it'd be a
we
really
both
weirdly
had that.
it'd be a really weirdly shaped head. The sausages are all packed in paper, though. You haven't seen those yet.
John, do I need to remind you we're dealing with the Cthulhu mythos?
Absolutely,
Weirdly shaped
Yeah.
heads are par for the fucking course.
They are.
Yeah, and I, John, I do not wish to know how the sausage is made, so I'm just going to take my wrapped parcel and. We'll
Also,
go now.
part of the Cthulhu mythos is knowing what you should and shouldn't jump at, because there's a lot of stuff that's just the normal world continuing oblivious to how everything is wrong now.
Yep.
like a butcher shop.
All right. See you at church, Henry.
Right, I'll see you there with the missus.
And,
Good day.
And Harold, you know that the missus is his husband.
Okay. And then Harold will, assuming that was a joke and not just what he affectionately calls his husband.
That's what he refers. He has always, since you've known him, referred to his husband as the missus.
Okay. All right. Fair. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to double check and make sure that that wasn't like something is wrong.
No.
Okay.
He has always referred to his husband as the missus.
Okay. Cool.
They have a very interesting relationship.
All right. Then Harold will turn and take his cane and take his purchases and head back out.
You imagine that he does that so that people that don't know him don't jump to weird conclusions as sort of a safety measure, probably, because
Legit.
He knows
Okay.
you, he doesn't know Jahan.
Fair. Okay. As long as it's something
Fun
I've heard.
story, Butcher. No.
I mean, as long as it's nothing that I haven't heard before.
Yeah, no, it's
then
not.
Harold isn't worried about it. And come back out and Harold. We're in Jahan's car. So Harold will look at Jahan and say, "Look, Ramsey, I suppose it's too much to ask to assume that you've got a styro with some coolers in it in the back." Just like a styrofoam cooler.
Right. I'm trying to think. I just might.
Go to the trunk, open it up. There's a
You're
there's a
muted,
styrofoam
John.
cooler. Am I muted?
Oh,
You
nope,
were.
nope, you're good
What?
now.
For
And
about
it
for
wasn't
about half
catching up
that
those
sentence.
first-
you
That was
were.
weird.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, you should just go to the back, open to the trunk, and there's
Yeah.
just a styrofoam cooler full of IPAs in it.
Right?
I was gonna say, for fishing, that's what my mind leapt to.
Honest. Oh no, he's not a fish.
No, that's what I
Um,
figured Harold would have it for.
Harold's actually got it because he's 67 and that's how he does his grocery shopping.
There you go.
Yeah.
That works too.
No, but there's probably a grocery store not nearby that we can.
Well, honestly, the how warm is it tonight?
It's
John?
fairly cool.
Okay. Oh
It's-
well,
Probably be okay.
that'd probably be fine. And actually,
mean-
a bit of thawing probably won't do the shin bone any harm.
But considering Shinbun will be using fairly quickly, but your sausage.
Right. Here we're actually not
We
too
can
far
stop.
from
We
my
can stop.
house.
Okay, fair enough.
If you don't mind.
No, not at all.
So,
Okay.
while the two of you take some sausages to Harold's house, Doris in America.
Sausage
You're
party.
dealing with zombies.
Yeah.
We're dealing with zombies that one of which at one point Doris thought was a very fine sausage.
Yes.
Look, it took a while to get to there, but I did.
Yeah, no, I was waiting for that joke to happen at some point. I figured it would.
You have breathless and slightly tired from having been running quite a bit. The two of you make it to the theater in question. It was the Golden Orb, wasn't it?
Yep.
You make it to the Golden Orb Theater. It is currently closed, though there does seem to be some sign of people working probably off hours inside.
Mm-hmm. Yoo-hoo! Hello! I'm going to like peer in one of the windows trying to get someone's attention.
It's like tap on the
Don't let
glass.
me in. Yeah.
What was the name of the person that you were?
Petunia.
Petunia, yes.
No last name. I didn't get her last name.
So looking up from what appears to be some sort of secretarial desk and doing some paperwork, there is America, what you see as, you would say a fairly normal, almost weirdly normal looking older lady. Like if you imagine in your mind the kind of person that goes to the grocery store every Wednesday for senior discount day, and definitely plays bingo at the local bingo hall, and has a ladybug phone, and like the kind of person that they cast in commercials to play old person is who you are seeing looking up from the
So
roof of the desk.
exactly the kind of person that Doris would hang out with.
Exactly that kind of person.
Okay.
Doris,
cool.
you recognize Petunia as she looks up. The one slightly off characteristic of Petunia being that her eyes don't quite orient in sync.
Mm-hmm.
They are slightly off, not so much that you can tell at a distance, but enough that it makes it feels weird to look at her, because you're expecting the eyes to move together and they very slightly don't.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Oh, hello there, Doris. You hear from inside the ear-piercing voice of Petunia breaking through the glass right into your ear.
Yep.
There is the lady who has her knees tied together shuffle as she moves across the room to the door. There's a quick rattling of keys as she unlocks it, opens it up. Why, hello there, Doris. It is such a good time to see you.
Petunia.
That left eye is looking at America. The right eye is looking at you.
I will agree. I will give her like the.
Could I get like a first aid of like what that seems to be,
Sure.
given that the reasons that are backstory secrets?
Yeah, I'm assuming this is normal to me.
This is absolutely normal to you.
Yeah.
Extreme success.
America, it's some form of lazy eye, where it's just like the muscle isn't quite attached properly, and so the eye doesn't quite follow the directions that it's being
exactly what I'd expect if someone was doing the finger thing and it wasn't working. That's probably
exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much what you're assuming at this moment. It's not as severe as it can be. It's definitely one of the more milder cases where it's just off enough to weird your brain out, but not actually all that off.
There's no business like strabismus.
Yes, Doris. Who is your friend?
This is America, Kansas Freedom, visiting from America.
Such a lovely
Howdy, man.
name.
Got it in one.
So darling. What brings you around to the theater district, Doris?
I needed to ask you for a favor, actually. Can we step
Favors?
inside?
Absolutely. It's dreadfully chilly and foggy out.
It
Please
is.
come in.
The weather was dreadful. We got a little bit lost, actually.
Ooh, I
but we
can
made it
just
here, which is the important thing.
Closes the door. Make a spot hidden check, both of you.
Okay. We're so good at those.
I'm assuming there's
Hey.
a whole bunch of theater people that are in those sort of black outfits you use when you're moving the sets.
No, you can definitely hear that there are people rehearsing in a room adjacent. You're not familiar with the thing that you can only hear it sort of slightly muffled, and you're not. Doris, you sort of you see a pamphlet on the sort of the receptionist desk where she was sitting That
Mm.
seems to be for an upcoming production of a play called The King in Yellow.
Hmm.
Cool.
Okay.
So, what can I do for you, Doris? It's so good to see you again.
It is. It's been too long. Actually, we are in a little literature club here in the city. I come. It's been picking up a little bit more. That's why I wasn't here earlier to say hello to you.
Oh, it's quite all right.
But
Literature club. That sounds exciting. Are there any
yes.
handsome young devils in there that you're ensnaring, Doris, with your witchy
Yes.
ways?
Yes, there are. Uh,
Yup.
one of them's quite taken though. So.
Taken with you, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm. Of course. But as part of that, we are attempting to do a little research into some of the one of the opening scenes from one of the books we were looking into.
Oh.
And it requires a little bit of an unusual ingredient.
So naturally you come for Petunia and my witchy ways.
Yes, dear. Do you happen to have still have access to Virgin's cow's blood?
Let me think. And she sort of
I
again
am
does that.
At some point, I'm trying to steer us back to her area. I'm gonna try and swipe that pamphlet.
You don't even have to worry about steering her back to that area because she does
She's
again
already there.
the knee-tied waddle
Yeah.
back to the reception desk where she sort
Awesome.
of sits down and begins flipping through pages. Go ahead, give me what is it? Do we have a sleight of hand skill? I think there's a sleight of hand skill.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, give me a
Yeah,
sleight of hand roll.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, just so she doesn't like take too much notice of it. I'm good.
Oh yeah, no, you very leaning over the desk, looking at what she's doing. It was like sort of leaning with your left arm to hide what your right hand slips the pamphlet away and puts it in a bag in your bag. Let's see. We have all manner of interesting props that have recently come in. Yes, actually, we have we have a 2-gallon jugs worth of virgin cow's blood. One of the directors that we have working on this next play that's coming up has very particular tastes for set dressing, and he wants to have it fresh every night. And you know how artsy types are. But we do happen to have some. I could probably get some more from the retailer if you're wanting it.
Yes, I would. That's the King, right? That's the King play. I think I heard a little bit about that.
Yes, it's
quite the buzz around town.
It is. Oh, you've heard about it around town already. I didn't know that the press junkets had gone out yet. No, we have a brand new director who comes in from Italy. Yes, one of those Italians. You know what I mean? Yes. Very handsome young fellow who brought with him a very unique play from Sicily called The King in Yellow. Apparently, a lot of the cast are learning Italian to read it. Actually, that's what they're doing right now. They're going through language lessons in the other room right now. Yes, it's going to be very interesting. Entirely in Italian, so he says.
Fascinating.
But no.
I check.
What? Psychology roll?
Check, please.
Go ahead, psychology roll.
Oh, jeez. Fail.
You're
Can
pretty
I make
certain.
that as...
Bad fail, too.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me a psychology roll.
Yeah. I'll try that. Hey. That's what I'm good
America,
at.
you're pretty sure Petunia doesn't know enough to lie. Like, you have to know things to lie about things, and you're pretty certain Petunia doesn't know the things that you would need to know to lie about things. Doris, Petunia seems fairly open. She seems like she's pretty excited to just talk to you about this thing.
Oh yeah.
You're one of her favorite people, so you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. I've worked very hard at that. Yep.
Well, if you want to give
You know how much we need? I assume we got a quantity.
I don't think there was a specific quantity, but that should be well enough.
An amount.
Yep.
Yeah, there wasn't a specific quantity given, but
Yep.
From the indication that Collins gave you, you imagine it's not more than a pint that you actually need.
So in that case, I'll say, as she's kind of like prattling along, on the blood though, I don't as I'm thinking through things, and trying to figure out how we're going to actually do this. I don't think we'll need that much. Could you? I know he's a very particular director, and it's a very important part of the play, how things are going on. But do you think you could happen to? I mean, I'm sure it gets moved around a lot, and if some went missing, say just a cup or a half a cup.
Go ahead and give me a persuade check with a
Okay.
bonus die.
All right. Do-do-do. Yes.
Oh, Doris, dear, for you, don't worry about it. I can order more. Certainly, I can get you some. You just need a cup?
Yes.
Certainly. She sort of rummages around like this, and she says she pulls out like a red Solo cup.
Ah,
Yes. That will work just fine.
Excellent. I'll be right back. He shuffles off, again with the knees tied together walk, heading towards a door in the back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then eventually the door closes, and the two of you are alone in the lobby.
Yep. I've glanced on the pamphlet, kind of like quickly leaf through it to kind of confirm what she was telling me, see if anything jumps out at me about that.
What languages do you speak?
I don't speak Italian. You kidding? I speak English. That's it.
There is a very small blurb of
graduate high school.
English. There's a very small blurb of English, and the rest of it is in Italian. And the small blurb of English is come see the famed Italian play, The King in Yellow, and then it goes on in Italy.
Rubbish. Are there any pictures in it?
There are no pictures. There are artist renditions of a figure draped in a yellow cloth, but no actual like pictures of a performance or anything.
Not even like a director's portrait or anything.
Nope.
Well, that's all right. I'll stuff that in my handbag.
All right. After a few minutes, the door kicks open again, and out comes Petunia in that same walk, holding this red Solo cup that you can see is almost filled to the top with this blood.
Perfect.
Let's see. Oh, this'll work. And she like grabs what was very clearly like some sort of fast food restaurant lid that had popped off a drink at some point and puts it on top.
It's like Punch with Diet Coke or something.
Yeah. It's like Punch with it's Punch with Coke or something. And like it's mostly secure. It's the right size, so it kind of fits. Look there. Be careful, don't spill it. But here you go. It's really hard to wash out if you spill it. Trust me, first-hand experience.
Oh goodness, yes. I will very carefully take that and immediately pass it off to America.
I will take it, and I probably have a clean thermos or two in my bag.
Probably, yes.
And I probably between a thermos or two can just put the blood in that.
Oh yeah, no, you can
put on actually secure lids that are moderately temperature controlled.
You can very easily transfer it from this red Solo cup.
Because we have to walk all the way back across Tower Bridge.
Yep. No, across the Millennium Bridge.
I thought you said
Tower
right.
Bridge was
That
lights
would
out,
make
yeah.
more sense.
Well, is there anything else that you need, Doris? And I do hope I'll see you opening night.
Of course. The play opens at what day? When did it open again?
It opens in a
When's
month.
it
It opens in a month. There's about we have the remainder of this month for rehearsals and language practices, and then next month it's opening. It's gonna be very exciting.
Yes, I imagine so. I'll definitely try my best to be there.
And if you want to have a little alone time with our cute director, I know how you are. Just give me the word.
Ooh, actually, does he speak? I just Yeah, no, I think she would. I would love to talk to him a little bit if you could arrange that, actually. Perhaps my literature group might be interested in.
He's busy for the rest of this week, but perhaps on the weekend?
Yes, please pencil me in, dear.
Absolutely. I will give you a call. I think I still have your number, and she sort of flips through her phone and checks.
Yes, that is it.
Yep. Yes, I will give you a call and let you know.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
By the way, your eye is looking much better. I'm glad to see that it's working.
Thank you. I've been practicing a lot on the muscle control. You say as the left eye begins to drift
Yep.
again.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Have
taking
you
a lot
been?
of work.
Mm-hmm. Have you been saying your prayers?
Yes, I have. Every night.
Oh, this is what Doris meant. Okay.
And Doris will just like lay her hand on Petunia's and just say, as I go and figure out one of the fake phrases that I came up with. Let's see here. Even if new life is gone,
Even if new life's gone,
it continues in our hearts.
it continues in our hearts.
And we'll exit stage.
Any kind of
right.
religion I can get on that.
Somewhere Jahan's like, I feel like somebody just said something that sounds deep but means absolutely fucking nothing if you think about it for more than 2 seconds.
Okay, before or the
Except for more British shit.
factions squabble about what exactly.
You can make a you make a history roll, a natural world roll, or a. I don't think there's anything else that would apply. Yeah, history, natural world, or occult roll.
Let's see. Let's go with natural world because that starts at 10%. Fail, but I tried.
Weird religious gobbledygook.
Got it. Okay.
All right, but the two of you step out into the foggy day London.
Right. That went well.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile,
Wow, we should be getting back.
Jahan and Harold. You pull up to after having dropped off the sausages at Harold's house, and with the thigh of a cow in your back seat thawing very slowly. You pull up to. Sorry, Harold, you're muted. I couldn't hear what you said.
Harold just grabs a tarp so it doesn't wreck Dr. Jahan's car, or Dr. Rumsey's car.
You have a thawing paper and tarp wrapped thigh bone in the back. Did you ever check on the sausages and see what they looked like? By the way, Harold.
Yeah, I think so. He'll probably take a look as he puts them away.
They look like regular sausages.
Okay.
Doesn't mean they are.
Nope.
I mean, regular sausages look like a lot of things. Anyways.
Yeah, I was
I'm
going
gonna
to say.
end up eating that later.
So
Doris is moving in with Harold.
Yeah. So what you mean basically is, yup, looks like ground meats.
Yeah, looks like ground up meat in a sock. Anyways, the pair of you pull up to the neighborhood, Jahan, that you know there is this backyard shrine in. Get out of your car and begin to proceed. You know that worshippers would go basically follow a back alley between the houses to get to the back gate of this shrine. Which I'm assuming you do.
Yeah.
And walk up to the shrine, open it up, and step inside. You pass underneath a torii gate that has been constructed in this guy's backyard. It's fairly small. It's not the full size of a normal torii gate, but it's still visible from the other side of the fence to the backyard. And
Right.
as you do, the pair of you feel this weight lift. Very similar to that feeling you felt when you stepped into the headquarters of the Knights Templar.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling of pressure that you feel outside in the world now with this knowledge of what is actually out there lift. And interestingly, it seems the ever-present fog that has been outside doesn't seem to be able to penetrate past this torii gate. As you step into what is a very clearly a cultivated garden with areas that are sort of laid out that you're pretty certain for meditation and prayer. leading up to a shrine that is covered in various paper seals and letters that are written, all of them in Japanese, and a small collection box underneath them. You don't actually know how to summon the priest, Jahan. I don't know if you've ever been here yourself. You've only been told.
I
about
mean,
it
blood sacrifice, clearly.
But
Isn't that how you summon priests? Or no, wait, I'm confusing priests with Satan.
Yeah,
My bad.
wrong priests. You don't actually know how to
priests, not Judas Priest.
There you go. You don't know how to actually summon the
That
Shinto
was
priest
good.
himself
That was good. I
out.
like that.
You just know that this is the shrine.
Right. Well, I assume he will probably show up at some point
Probably.
because we're in his holy area, his sanctified area. I just lean over, like, try not to ruin anything.
Harold gives Jahan a long look and says,
Not that I'm saying you would ruin anything because you're you. I would say that to literally anyone.
And Harold sniffs and says, "Well, I admit to not knowing a tremendous amount about Shinto, but I have a tremendous respect for gardening."
Fair.
I thank you for that, a fairly young voice says at roughly your elbow, Harold.
Harold will turn and look at his elbow.
There is what appears to be something of a early 20-year-old, very clearly Eastern European individual. John, you're guessing Japanese. Standing there looking up at you with wearing sort of just a white shirt and pants, very loosely fitted, not any sort of formalized or ceremonial outfit. Just sort of looking up at you with a slight smile on his face, holding a pair of garden shears.
Oh.
Hello.
How did I know this? How did I know this area or this person? Because this was something that I was like, do I know this? And then you roll.
One of your patients. One of
Okay.
your patients has talked to you about this shrine.
Okay.
The priest is referred to as Shin Abe.
Okay. Yes. Hello, Shinabe. My name is John Ramsey. This is Harold.
Harold will stick out his hand.
He
And
reaches out, shakes the hand.
one of my patients told me that that this was here, and I have.
For clarity's sake, the patient is Kisaki So.
Okay, I don't say that because
just so that you are aware of the name in case you want to use.
Say it one more time.
Kisaki So.
So, okay. Yeah, no, he doesn't say it because, confidentiality.
Yeah, you don't immediately breach. Good job. Solid choice.
But I have a bit of an what might be an odd request.
Oh, please. Come, step into the shrine and we can speak on this.
Of course, thank you.
And he sort of leads the way over to this, again, very small backyard shrine that is very clearly set apart from the house behind it, in so much that you can see the door into the house, and then the rest of it is basically covered in sort of like reeds that have been cultivated in the backyard to give a distinct separated feel from the house to the backyard. There are a trio of cushions set out in the shrine area proper, and he moves over into the center one facing the shrine itself, kneels down on it, puts his hands together, and just sort of doesn't say anything, just sort of stares at the shrine intently for a moment before folding his hands in his lap and turning around to face the pair of you.
And is this a shoes off area?
He is not wearing shoes. It would
Okay.
seem that taking
Yeah,
your shoes off before
yeah.
stepping into the shrine would be appropriate.
Absolutely.
As
Yeah,
Harold
definitely
pulls
shoes
off,
off.
As Harold pulls off the wellies he's been wearing this entire time.
Honestly, it probably doesn't occur to him unless someone points it out.
Yeah, if you say, he will be like,
Oh,
Harold.
right. Yeah. Harold, I mean, that was like a week ago. Harold is not still wearing the Wellington.
I like the idea that he just sleeps in them, everything. Literally does not, showers with them.
They're
Harold
definitely back in the car. I mean,
Harold laboriously sits down and takes off his shoes. He has very fuzzy socks.
But yeah, I take a seat.
So, how can I assist you?
This is, by the way, very lovely. The serenity in here is quite comforting.
Make it a as you begin talking. Also, make it a cult roll, Jahan.
Okay. Occult. It's a 50 out of 59.
As you begin talking, as you sit down, as you comment on the serenity, you feel this sort of that pressure relieving aura that this area has. You feel something very similar radiating off of this person.
Okay.
You're pretty certain, similar to John Collins, but not in the same way, that this person has access to that true power that you have touched upon.
Cool. So we find ourselves in a position of need. Of a bowl of rice that has been blessed by a priest of your faith.
He sort of tilts his head. Well, if that is all you require, we absolutely can provide that. I would request but a small donation to the shrine, and he sort of indicates the donation box behind him.
Of course.
But feel free to wait here. Do you have any idea of how much?
It was not specific. It simply said a bowl.
Give me another occult roll, real quick.
I feel like we're all cursing out Collins for not actually telling us how much
we need 7. It's only a bowl, but the problem is the bowl is swimming pool size, so we need 7 barrels of it.
Yeah.
You said, sorry, what roll again?
Occult.
Can we both make that?
Yeah, you can both make it if you want.
Not so good this time.
No. Mine is 8, so
the only measurement you were given was bowl. So
yep. I'm gonna nope. I'm just gonna The only information we had was
unless you want to spend 7 points of your luck to make that a success.
Nope. 12. You know what? In this case, because this is fairly significant, I will go ahead and say yes.
Okay, so you spend 7 points of luck and turn that fail into a success. Your luck goes down by 7 points.
This is why I haven't done that on superfluous things to this point.
Thinking about it, you recall the knife that he showed you, and just making some conjecture based off of what the things he's given, you are assuming that the rice is used to wash the knife clean.
Yeah.
So about like a cereal bowl's worth, like.
Okay.
So is what you're imagining.
About big.
Very well.
Would be enough, I believe.
I will return shortly. And he stands up, walks over to that door that's partially hidden by reeds, opens it and steps in and closes it behind. And the two of you are alone in the shrine. For the moment.
Look around the shrine.
It's
without moving. You're not going to get up and poke around.
It's
but-
very calming. There's a sort of a cultivated hedge around the yard, along with these planted reeds that are designed to make sort of a barricade. There is a small sanded, there's a small circle of sand off to one side with a large flat stone in the middle of it that seems you would assume is for meditation, being not familiar with the religious practices of the person that designed the place. But it seems that seems like a very obvious purpose to it. And again, the thing that strikes you as the oddest part of this whole thing is that fog that you can see outside the fence is not coming in.
Yep. Works for me.
It's just being held at bay by something.
Cool.
Do either of you put money into the donation box?
Yes, I will.
Oh yeah.
You-
Harold pulls out his wallet, looks over at Dr. Ramsey, and says, "I'm not sure if this is. How much should it be, then? Do you think?"
Not sure I think in this case it would not be a bad idea to overpay.
Harold pulls out, I guess, a 20-pound note and puts it in.
And John's going to pay the same.
After a few moments of quiet,
John, can I make a roll to see if I have any concept of whether that's appropriate or not?
sure.
I don't want to insult the guy.
You make an occult roll. Or a history roll. One of the two.
Should be at least 7,000 pounds. Well, fuck.
My occult is 3 percentage points higher than my history, so but that's 5 versus 8, so still a fail. I don't know.
You have no idea what would be an appropriate amount.
I guess I'll stick with 20.
After a few minutes, both of you regain 1 point of sanity. As the calming aura of the garden cleanses your mind and eases your worries.
It's a pretty chill game. I don't know what everybody else is complaining about.
Right?
Go to the bar, go to the butcher shop, chill out in a Zen garden.
The door opens and the priest returns with a small bowl filled with rice. He sets on he kneels down on his cushions, sets it in front of you. If you ever are in need of a sanctum of peace, please feel free to come back.
Much appreciated.
Mr. Abbey, you have our thanks, and may I also congratulate you on just how spick and span this whole place looks. Top-notch job.
I appreciate it. And he sort of watches the two of you.
Carefully pick it up.
Harold will offer to shake his hand again.
He'll shake your hand.
Is he watching us expectantly, or just sort of waiting for us to leave, or?
Make a psychology roll. Make a psychology roll.
Yay! I
will-
succeeded at something.
I will shrink this too.
You can tell he is watching you with the expectation of, if they have anything further to ask, I am prepared to pay attention and listen and offer advice. It's not it's not like sort of a you should leave now. It's a in case you need me, I am here sort of look.
Okay. Yeah. Harold will
Which John, you recognize as a psychologist. That's the sort of thing that you do when you are watching to listen, because you use your eyes to activate your ears.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, Harold's going to take his cue from Jahan, just because this is his contact.
Two of you leave.
Yep.
And as soon as you step out, you're once again enveloped in that fog, and that previously undeterminable weight returns as you head back towards the headquarters.
Bloody weather this time of year.
Doris and America.
Yep.
So you find yourselves walking past that fence again as you're heading back
Mm,
towards the bridge.
I pull my purse further up on my arm. Keep an eye on it. It's out of the corner of my eye. I
Make a-
like it.
Make a spot hidden check for me.
Okay.
If anyone needs a good brickin'.
Well, that's a success.
Oh yeah, spot hidden. I should do that. Fail.
America, you're focused on moving forward. Doris, you don't see anything in the graveyard,
Okay.
but you cannot shake the feeling that something is watching.
Mm,
That's all. As you continue walking
Yep.
past the fence.
I don't say anything.
The pair of you eventually make it back to the Millennium Bridge, where as you cross the bridge, the fog seems to fade. Get back to your car, and eventually fight your way back through the traffic, back to John Collins' house in Whitechapel. The four of you reconvene at the steps of John Collins' corner house at roughly the same time. Jahan carrying a bowl of rice, Harold carrying a large chunk of meat, America with a thermos full of blood, and Doris with her purse hiked up on her shoulder.
Yep. Well, we got what we came for.
As did we.
Perfect. Is John Collins here?
I mean, you assume he's inside, probably downstairs still.
Well, let's go get our guide, I guess. I will walk up and rap smartly on the door.
Door opens on the first knock. Just-
Oh, he needs to get his hinges checked.
Well, fuck.
What? I turn and look back at Jahan.
Have you never seen a bloody horror film? When is that ever a good thing?
I do not care for those films.
Well, they might just keep us alive at this moment.
Oh yeah, there's a man who's older than time with a creepy murder basement full of unspeakable monster living in this house, and you want to bang him. Heading in.
Don't see what that has to do with the fact that the door was unlocked, but
Are you going to go rescue your love then? I'm standing on the threshold. I haven't
Wait,
gone in yet.
You said America already walked in?
Yeah.
Because America really wants to be an action hero.
Um,
They make bad decisions, okay?
Beautiful.
first off, you're one to talk.
Harold is walking back to the car and getting a gun.
Oh, America definitely has several guns.
Mhm.
I definitely have my guns on me, but I am
Harold walks
also
back, gets a gun.
Harold didn't, but does now. And then we'll be the next one through the door unless anyone else has.
I mean, I really think there's
I
something
feel like
between
Harold
you.
just walks directly between the
Yeah.
bickering two.
Yep. Just yep. I mean, I really think you have something going with him. You've had some
Yes, it does
conversations.
seem
You
to
stared
be-
deeply into each other's eyes,
you
and
do
he
seem to
and
be
he
very-
gave you his sword to hold.
You do seem to be very jealous of all of that, yes.
Jealous? No, I've got my own.
You don't seem like somebody who could ever stop at just one. And I walk right in.
I will follow.
So the
I was
four of
looking
you-
forward to this continuing while America and Harold were having a shootout inside.
The four of you go in. America and Harold already a little ways ahead of Jahan and
Yep.
Doris. Heading down the long flight of stairs into the basement area, you come across America and Harold first, then Jahan and Doris. You come across John Collins on the ground, arms and legs splayed out, spread eagle, with a ritual dagger sticking out of his gut and sort of blood smeared into arcane sigils around him. Not apparently breathing at the moment. And that's where we're going to end for the week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
master.